Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast update for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Another surge of cold air coming in on the backside of our departing storm system here. Temperatures in the minus 15 to minus 20 range across Saskatchewan into southern portions of Manitoba. Even Calgary checking in at minus 20 with some fresh snowpack there. That always helps drag those temperatures down just a little bit further. A layer of course, frozen water on the ground. Not going to do anything to warm things up. We'll take a look at the satellite picture here early on Wednesday morning. And again, here's our departing storm system right here. It's really becoming a problem for the U.S. now. We're going to get some accumulating snow in parts of the Great Lakes, parts of the upper Midwest in here, and some very strong winds coming in both in advance and in on the backside of the storm system. So those northwest winds will continue to be gusty even across the Canadian Prairie over the next 24 hours or so. Now, ridging is moving in from the west, so that's going to help our temperatures moderate just slightly. Remember, we've got a fresh snowpack there. It's not easy to warm back up when you've got that on the ground. So as we look at the radar, though, we do have a bit of a lull. We had our snow move through over the last 24 to 36 hours. We're quieting down, and I'll go ahead and just tease you and let you know that over the next week or so, really, there will be opportunities for some light snow, but nothing showing up here like we saw over, again, the last 24 to 36 hours. Jim Hale at FarmerJim79 on social media on Twitter there sent me this photo from Abbey, Saskatchewan. He's got 8 inches of new snow there, about 20 centimeters. And again, Abbey's kind of right between Calgary and Regina there in southwest Saskatchewan. And it was right on that Calgary to Regina to near or just north of Manitoba, or I'm sorry, near or just north of Winnipeg, Manitoba, that we were expecting those heaviest snowfall accumulations. So a fresh snowpack in the area. There'll be opportunities for some light snow flurries and additional light snow accumulation through the end of the month, but the storm track here, as I just go ahead and hit play on it, it's going to be shifting a little bit further to the south as we head through the end of December. So as we'll take a look at what that does with the precipitation, but again, it's going to be sending much of it off to our south. Now with these big troughs moving into the south, it's likely we're going to be continuing to pull some colder air down out of the north. So we will moderate here as we head into the weekend, but I would kind of brace for a bit of a colder next week, a colder end to the month of December. Now, again, we look at the precipitation forecast. We saw our winter storm over the last 24 hours. This is what remains of that. Again, becoming more of a problem for Ontario and portions of the upper Midwest in the U.S. As we take this into the end of the week, here's Thursday. High pressure moves in on the backside. We're going to be cold but quiet to end the work week across the prairie. This now takes us into Thursday night. Here is Friday morning. And now we'll take it into the weekend. This is Saturday, and here's where you're going to see the storm track here. We got a ridge of high pressure across the prairie provinces, and so we'll see some of the moisture deflected here up toward the Gulf of Alaska, British Columbia, but then the main upper-level energy is going to be sneaking off to the south. So we'll see another storm system develop in the midsection of the United States as we get into Sunday and Monday. High pressure lingering across the prairie. Another potentially big storm system in the middle of the U.S. here as we get into the middle of next week. Around December 30th or 31st, potentially bringing a swath of snow to the region. But as I just continue to drag this out into the beginning of January, seeing the same pattern really continuing, and that is one where much of the moisture will be deflected off to the north into the west of the prairie and off to the south of the prairie here in the central U.S. So from the ensemble, total precip through the end of the month, again, you can see the hardest hit areas, much of the Pacific moisture here just being wrung out on the mountains across the Pacific Northwest and then up the coast of British Columbia into the Gulf of Alaska. And then we've got the upper level energy sneaking off to the south and then ejecting, redeveloping across the Midwest into the eastern third of the country. So the Canadian Prairie, really, you end up getting missed by much of this. Now, that's not to say that there won't be opportunities, again, for some snow flurries, for some additional light accumulation. But as we take a look at the ensemble probability of picking up more than 3 inches, or 7.5 centimeters of snow through the end of the month. And again, a big hole right here across the prairie provinces where, again, much of the moisture wrung out here across the high mountain areas of British Columbia, or it's sneaking through the Pacific Northwest into the central United States and then lifting back across the Great Lakes and far eastern Canada. So the prairie provinces going to be turning colder next week. Opportunities for flurries. Nothing showing up, though, as far as a concentrated band of significant accumulating snow as we head through the last days of December. So here are your temperatures in Calgary. Again, we do rebound pretty quick. A high of 7 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, but then another push of cold air comes in as we head through the weekend into early next week. Those highs will be sub-zero through the weekend into next week. Same thing here in Medicine Hat. Saskatoon, you get a big surge of cold air, those highs down to -10, -15 as we head through the weekend into early next week. Regina, a very similar picture, and then same thing here in Winnipeg. Trending colder next week, likely looking at some chances for some very light snow flurries, maybe some light minor additional accumulation, but by and large, the storm track going to be avoiding the Prairie provinces as we finish the month of December. Have a great day. Just to let you know, no Canadian Prairie regional forecast on Friday. Of course, we'll be observing the Christmas holiday, so we'll talk to you again on Monday morning. Have a great, safe holiday weekend.